It's time to unbox another fantastic Moonstone character. This is one of my favourites. It's Nanny and the Bablings. Let's get straight into it then, and here we go. Here's the box for the new Nanny model, and this comes with 4 miniatures all together, and this is part of the Shades of Moonreach faction. And if you remember back to September 2023, I did the reveal for this at the beginning of the Kickstarter campaign that they put out for the whole Shades of Moonreach faction. So it's really awesome to get hold of the model and get it built up and shared with you. And in this video, we'll go through everything that's included in the box, get the models built, and then we'll have a close-up look at all 4 cards so you know exactly what each of these miniatures can do on the table. Here we go then. As always, we're going to get these 2 foam pieces that protect the models. Sometimes you'll just get 1 foam piece and a few little smaller pieces depending on how big the models are. And for this pack, we're going to get 4 cards altogether, 1 for Nanny and 1 for each of the 3 Bablings. And then we're going to get the 4 models and 4 bases. Let's have a look at the sprues first, and these are going to be some of the easiest models you've ever built. Nanny especially comes in 1 piece, so we'll just trim the sprue off at the bottom, and that's all we're going to have to do. And right away you can see just how great this sculpt is. Tons of character, the face is fantastic, and that weird octopus that she's got in the ladle at the front is just a real great addition. I love it. It's going to look so good when it's painted up and on the table. And when you see the abilities that Nanny can do later on, I think you're going to be impressed and certainly are going to want to add her to the collection. Nanny also comes with 3 Bablings. If you've ever played with Boris and the Murder Bunnies in the past, then it's going to be a similar style of play here in how you introduce these characters, but their abilities are so different. First one we've got here is Sprog. Again, this is just a 1-piece character, so very easy. We're just going to glue that to the base. You've got Pookie here. We're going to get 2 components and not much tidying up to do at all. The sculpts here and the casts are done so well, very crisp and super neat. And then here's a really funny character, Urchin. Again, just 2 pieces, real simple and quick to put together. And if you want to find out how I prepare my resin models ready for painting, I'll link to that video at the end of this one. And that'll go through the different tools I use, the glue and the preparation methods. We've also got our bases here, and these are all going to be the same size for each of these 4 miniatures, so we'll get those out. And these bases they use in Moonstone are great. They've got the little lip there, so you can get some different filler. And on the cards at the bottom right-hand corner, it'll tell you the size of the base you'll need for each miniature. Okay, I've built them all now, so let's have a close-up look. So not much more to see here with Nanny. 1 component glued to the base, ready to go. You're not going to get much of the filler around Nanny. She takes up quite a bit of room, but you could certainly get a bit more around this guy. And what I've done is I've just added like a slither of sprue there so that I can get a nice fit in the slot, and just raised it slightly off the base so I can add a little bit of the Vallejo base paste. And then this one I've just put straight on as well, and then there's a little tiny gap underneath. And then here, this one I've just put in as is. I think I can just work around those feet, no problem. Great looking characters. I mean, they're just so unusual. And I think once you have a look at the abilities, you're really going to be impressed with these. So let's do that now, and we'll start with Nanny. So here you can see we've got the character card, we've got the name at the top and the keyword risen, and then we've got the faction symbol there and the base size. You can see that Nanny is going to have a melee of 3, a 1-inch range, Arcane 4, which is really nice, and the evade is +1. Then we've got a passive ability, that's called You Protect Me Like the Babe, and here we're going to reduce all damage this character would suffer by -1 for each friendly Babling within 6 inches. That's really strong. You can certainly imagine how useful that's going to be, and if you can get all 3 Bablings on the battlefield in one go, and they're all within 6 inches of Nanny, she's going to be a pretty tough customer. The arcane abilities is where it's all about for Nanny, and I just love the names they've chose for these. It's all so funny. Like this one is called Milkies, and here we've got energy of 2 and a 6-inch range, and you're looking for a blue or pink, any number. And for blue, the target friendly character restores X number of wounds, and for the pink, the target friendly character gains +1 energy. The catastrophe is the target suffers 2 wounds. Then we've got Summon the Nursery, 1 energy. You can only use this one once per turn though, and this action cannot bring a character into play if it's already in play. So here we're looking for blue, green, or pink, you need the number 1, and each one of those is going to represent Sprog, Pookie, or Urchin. You're going to place any of those in base contact with Nanny, and so depending on the colour of the number 1 that you get, that's the character that you'll bring on. And the catastrophe here is the model and Bablings within 6 inches suffer 2 wounds. So that's going to put you off doing a little bit of bluffing, I think. And then we've got another one called Lullaby, 1 energy, 6-inch range. Again, this is once per turn. Now we're looking for a blue or a pink 2, and then the target model must discard half its energy, rounding up. Then it restores 2 wounds. And then the catastrophe here is that this model suffers 2 wounds. So here we go with Nanny then. We really want to get those little Bablings into play, and then she's going to be doing lots of healing. And with that 4 arcane, she's going to be really good at it, I think. She's also got 9 wounds herself, which is pretty good, and then you're not going to lose the first energy until you get down to that 4th wound. So I think she's going to be a pretty robust character, and her signature move is on a falling swing. So let's flip it over, and we're going to get nap time. So this is an impact damage type, and I really like this one because if the opponent plays anything except a high guard, it's going to be 2 damage that they take. So that's really good, and I like the end step effect too. If the model, or if the enemy, suffered 1 or more wounds during this round of melee, they lose an energy. So you can take some wounds off them. There's a really good chance that's going to happen, and they're going to lose some energy potentially too. So we've got Nanny. The goal is to get as many of these Bablings in play within 6 inches of Nanny as possible, and then we can start seeing what each of those can do. So let's have a look at their cards. You're going to find that the 3 cards are very similar until we get down to the final ability at the bottom of their cards. And then on the back, you'll see there's no signature move with any of these either. And that's pretty normal with these kind of extra characters. The same as we've seen with Boris and the Murder Bunnies. They don't have their signature move either. Alright, let's have a look at Pookie, Sprog and Urchin at the same time. We're going to get the name at the top. They've all got the Psychopomp and the Babling keywords. They're all going to get 1 melee, 1 range, no arcane, and a -1 evade. And then you can see here that they've got 3 abilities. The first one is called Thrall. This character can only enter play when summoned. It does not activate and can never gain energy. Instead, while the character that summoned it is active, which will be Nanny, this character can take actions including Jog by discarding the required energy on the character that summoned it. Reaction steps and go for it can be taken in the same way. So there we go. We've got to use Nanny to get these into play. And if you want to take advantage of their abilities, you're going to have to use the energy that Nanny comes with. And if you compare her perhaps with another character that can give extra energy, I think Nanny's going to be a real central character that you could play in your troop. We're on to Summoner's Delight next, and if the character that summoned this model is slain or removed from play, then this character is immediately considered to be slain. Feeble, we're going to reduce all melee damage this character deals by -2, and harvest actions cost this model +1 energy. So they're not going to be really good in melee here, but it's really the abilities you want. They're so sneaky and fun. I think you're going to really enjoy using those. We'll get to that in a minute though, because first we've got I Want My Nanny. When an enemy character declares this model as a target of an action, you may interrupt the action to move this model 2 inches directly towards a friendly Nanny. If you do, the enemy must complete the action if possible and may not choose a new target. You can only do this once per turn though, so they're going to really help to protect her. But let's have a look at their individual abilities now. This is what makes them really stand out. First up, we've got Sprog. He pushed me, 1 energy, 2-inch range once per turn. We can move the target other model 1 inch directly away. So we can start controlling the enemy models and getting them out of the way. We've got Urchin next, and this one is called He Hit Me. Again, 1 energy, 2-inch range, once per turn. The target character suffers 1 wound. So each of these is going to have a different effect on the enemy, which is really interesting. And finally, we've got Pookie. He Called Me Names. This is going to be 1 energy, 2-inch range, once per turn. The target character suffers -1 arcane stat or -1 melee stat until end of turn. So another really useful ability that can have an effect on your enemy. So there we go, that's Nanny and the Bablings, and I think these are so fun. There's lots going on here. You're going to have lots of tactical options by playing Nanny, and again, if you can pair her up to give her some more energy from another character, I think that's really going to help get Urchin, Sprog and Pookie in play and make the most of all their individual abilities. I hope you found this video helpful, and now you know exactly what Nanny and the Bablings can do. You can choose whether or not this is the character that you'd like to add to your collection. I think it would be great fun just to have this one, even just to paint it up. But as far as gameplay goes, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this character. I'd love to hear what you think about Nanny and the Bablings, so let me know in the comments down below. I think Nanny's a really nice option to add to the starter set, the most recent one that I've done a video about. And so if you want to add to your Shades of Moonreach faction, this would be a great model to do that with. If you're interested in finding out more about that starter set, I've done a full unboxing video and I've been painting the characters from it, including Jada in a full painting step-by-step video. We've also had a look at the Jackalope. What an awesome model this one is too. And then we've done some of the other ones like Greymare, gone through a bit of colour theory, how to use minimal paints to get lots of different colours. And I've also painted some of the bigger models too. If you like unboxings, I've got you covered with the Boris, the Bunny Summoner, the Shady Bunch box set, and some more painting videos too, with some of the other factions including fairies, and one of my favourite models, Dim and Dim. I had such a great time getting this one ready for the table. We've also done more unboxings with Rebold the Troll, and the Goblin Airship, and lots more. They're all available on the channel. And if that's not enough, there's a full how to play Moonstone video available too, with some other videos to support your gameplay. Let me know what you think about Nanny, especially if you've played her already, in the comments down below. Can't wait to see what you think. Thanks so much for watching, hope you enjoyed it, hope it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.